Welcome back all of you. From today onwards we are going to learn a new chapter regarding JEE NEET, that is magnetic effect of electric current, or it have name in some books as a magnetic field or magnetism or source and effect of magnetic field also. Means board, NCERT and all other reference books have different names, but the content is same. So we are going to cover this chapter within maximum 15 parts. So today we are going to learn three major concepts of this chapter, which are the very basic concept that you should know to go further for new next concept. Okay, so you can see that on green board I have written down that today's topics, that introduction, Biot-Savart's law, and the third point is direction of magnetic field near current carrying conductor. Okay, so first of all we will see some introduction regarding this chapter. So you know that this was experimentally conducted by scientist Ørsted in 1820. When he was demonstrating to his students, he see that the compass near the current carrying conductor showing some deflection, that needle showing some deflection. By that he came to know there must be some kind of other field other than electric field, because electric field was due to static charge, but here our electrons are moving because current is flowing through the wire. So he came to know there is another kind of field generated due to this flowing current, and that field is nothing but the magnetic field. So in this chapter we are going to see Biot-Savart law and his application, and after that use of this magnetic field, his applications, like that. This chapter is one of the most important chapter regarding JEE and NEET, and it's very interesting chapter because this chapter includes some theoretical parts, and most of the parts are involve some practical experiment. By that you can easily solve the questions. Question solving is the fun of this chapter. Okay, so let us start this chapter. Okay, so first point we have covered that introduction. When Ørsted was conducting an experiment, he observed that there is some deflection in needle. By that he came to know there is another field, that field is nothing but the magnetic field. Now the second point is Biot-Savart's law. Actually these are two scientists, Biot and Savart, two different scientists, they have give this law. So first of all we will go through definition, and once we go through definition we will go for the practical explanation. Actually there is no need of derivation of this law, it does not involve in any book, that we should only know what is this law exactly and some example on this Biot-Savart law. So first of all the definition of Biot-Savart law. Statement. So Biot-Savart's law states that this law states that, okay, so first of all Biot-Savart's law is for magnitude of magnetic field, but where? So Biot-Savart's law give us magnitude of magnetic field, also direction of magnetic field at any point P. At any point P, let us consider any point P or A or B in any point, okay, near from the current carrying conductor or current carrying wire. Okay, so as per introduction I have told you that when current is passing through the wire or conductor, there must be one magnetic field generated around the conductor. Okay, so if the point is inside that magnetic field, then how much magnetic field it fills, that is given by Biot-Savart's law. Okay, so it states that the magnitude of, it states that the magnetic field at a point P, let's say take a point P, the magnetic field at a point P due to current carrying conductor is directly proportional, okay, see carefully now. First point, directly proportional to current. First of all, current, but it's not only current, it's current element. I will tell you what is current element. You may never heard about current element, I will tell you. Second point, directly proportional to sine angle between current element between line joining current element and the point P. And the third point, inversely proportional to distance between current element. By the way, current element is a vector quantity. Current element and point P. So inversely proportional to square of, actually inversely proportional to square of distance between current element and point P. So first of all, note it down. I will explain it. I have given it you already, because whenever I am giving you explanation, you have the notes, so that it will be more easy to understand. Okay. So first of all, note it down. After that, we will go for explanation. Okay. Now we will go for explanation. So first of all, to explain this law, we should have one current carrying element. So let us take one current carrying element. It's a conducting wire, and current flowing through this wire is, let's say, I. Current carrying through this whole wire is I. Now due to this current, okay, there must be one magnetic field around this conductor, and let's take a one point P. Let us take a point P here. Okay, we want to see, or we want to calculate the magnetic field at a point P due to this current carrying conductor. Okay, and it will be given by Biot-Savart's law. So first of all, we will choose one current element. So what is current element? We are going to choose one little part of this conductor, that is nothing but the current element, and this current element is a vector quantity because it involves that small element dl. Dl means this conductor will have length L. So dl means the small part of this L length. Okay, so current element will be IDL. That means it involves current and small element dl. So current will be always same throughout this conductor. So we are just trying to get this current across this small element dl. That's why it will be IDL. That is nothing but the current element. Let us consider only this part. Okay, flowing current is I, and this small part is nothing but dl, small element dl. And now see carefully, as we are just trying to calculate the magnetic field due to this small dl element, definitely the magnetic field will be also dB, small dB. Okay, so see carefully, we are joining this line. Joining this line. This is our current element. It is very small. Now see carefully, here one theta is generated. This is the theta. And this line is nothing but position vector of a point P, because it is in a free space. So definitely this line is nothing but the position vector r bar. its magnitude will be R. Okay, see carefully once again. This is our current carrying element. This is our current carrying element, or we can say that conductor carrying current I, carrying current I. Okay, and the total length was L. We are just choosing small part dl. Okay, here we took one point P across which we have to find out the magnitude of magnetic field. Small element dl, I is a current flowing through that conductor. So see carefully, IdL is nothing but the current element. It is a vector quantity, current element. Okay, so according to Biot-Savart law, Biot-Savart's law, the magnitude of magnetic field dB will be directly proportional to the current. First of all, current flowing through the conductor. Equation number 1. Similarly, this dB directly proportional to the current element. Actually, I am sorry, this is current element IdL, directly proportional to the sine of angle between this current element and the line joining point in a free space. This is nothing but the position vector r bar. And the third point is inversely proportional to the square of distance between dl and the point P, which is nothing but the magnitude of position vector, which is nothing but the r. So we have to do here r square. Equation number 3. Okay, so from 1, 2 and 3 combinedly we can write dB is directly proportional to IdL sin theta divided by r square. Okay, is that clear? According to Biot-Savart law, the magnitude of magnetic field, here we are taking dB because we are trying to get magnitude of magnetic field due to this small element, only due to this small element. That's why we took dB, which is directly proportional to the current element, not only current. You can further expand it into current and element. Okay, but let it be together, current elements, so that I and dl together come. After that, sine of angle between that small element dl. Here you can see that element has length dl, which is you can even see, but actually in practice we are taking very small element. That's why the angle between dl and the point P, the line joining point P is theta, so that we took sine theta. And this magnitude of magnetic field is inversely proportional to the square of distance between that small element dl and the point P, where we are going to calculate the magnitude of magnetic field. So combinedly we can write down dB directly proportional to the IdL sin theta divided by r square. Okay, note it down. Now see carefully, we came to the point dB is directly proportional to the IdL, which is nothing but the current element, sine of angle between current element and the line joining element and point P, and inversely proportional to the square of distance between them, that is current element and the point P. But here we can took a proportionality constant, which is nothing but mu 0 upon 4 pi. So dB is equal to mu 0 upon 4 pi IdL sin theta divided by r square. And you know that mu 0 upon 4 pi have a value of how much? 10 raised to minus 7. This is what you know, because mu 0 has value of 4 pi into 10 raised to minus 7. So 4 pi can be divided, so 10 raised to minus 7. Now see carefully, what will be the what will be the SI unit of, this is the magnitude we are trying to get. Okay, now SI unit of mu 0 upon 4 pi So see carefully, you know that dB we measure in Tesla. dB we measure in Tesla, so r square will come here, so it will be meter square divided by this current is in ampere, dl is in meter. Sin theta does not have any unit, you know that. So meter will get cancelled, so Tesla meter per ampere. This is also important. Okay, so note it down. We came to the point that magnitude of magnetic field is nothing but mu 0/4 pi I dl sin theta divided by r square for a point which is near to the current carrying conductor. Okay, so in examples they will ask you to find out sometimes angle, sometimes distance, sometimes position vector. Okay, we will go through that also. So note it down. After that we will solve one example, and before that we will also see the direction, because we have just gone through magnitude of magnetic field. If they ask for direction of this magnetic field, then how to solve this kind of questions, so that we will go through direction of magnetic field also. Okay, now we will see how to find direction of magnetic field at a point P, because previously we have gone through magnitude of magnetic field, but at the same time we should know the direction of magnetic field. The direction of magnetic field will be either outside the plane or inside the plane. So how to decide it? So see carefully, we can note down the expression in vector form for direction as mu 0/4 pi I dl. See carefully now, I dl cross r bar divided by r square. This was the expression we have got. Now see here fully, the modification here are dl bar cross r bar and r square is here. But see carefully, dl cross r bar is nothing but the dlr sin theta. dlr sin theta. This term will become dlr sin theta. But in magnitude of magnetic field, we do not have any r in a numerical part. It was always in a denominator part. So how to remove that? So we are going to multiply this r square by r, so that it will become r cube. For example, now it will become I dlr sin theta. That r will get cancelled with this r cube, 1 r, so that remains part will be r square only. Okay, so see carefully, the direction of this magnetic field only given by the cross product of dl and r. Okay, mu 0/4 pi and r cube, also current, will be always constant. So the direction will be depend on the cross product of dl, that is element, and position vector r bar. Okay, now see carefully how to decide the direction. You have to just do, you know that cross product is nothing but the curl. You may have gone through this in a mathematics part. So this is our dl element, this is our dl element, this is our position vector r bar. You have to curl dl to r. Okay, dl to r. So you can see that this thumb is going inside the plane. So whichever the direction this thumb is going on, that is the direction of magnetic field. See once again, we are curling the fingers from dl to r. This is our dl, this is our position vector. So we have to curl fingers from dl to r. The thumb is going inside the plane, that's why the direction of magnetic field will be inside the plane. Whenever the direction of magnetic field is inside, you have to show this symbol, cross, for inside. Now see, let us take another example. So let's say point P is here, or new point P dash. This is a position vector r dash, this is theta dash, this is current element, only element dl dash. In such case, see carefully, the element is in this direction, position vector is here. You have to curl from dl to r, not from r to dl. So dl to r. So thumb is coming outside. Whenever it is coming outside, you have to show this symbol, only dot, for outside direction. That means the direction of magnetic field at a point P near the current carrying conductor is depend upon cross product of small element dl and the position vector. Position vector is nothing but the distance or the line joining from that small element dl to the point P. Okay, you have to curl the fingers from dl to r, not from r to dl. If the thumb comes outside the plane, definitely that is the direction, or either thumb will go inside the plane, depends upon the location of that point P. Okay, this is how we represent direction of magnetic field. It can also given in another form, that is unit vector form. So you know that dV bar is nothing but mu 0 upon 4 pi I dl bar divided by here r cube only, no, r square only. So we are just changing this r bar to vector to its magnitudes. How to represent this r bar in unit form? You know that is nothing but vector to its magnitude. So it will be vector to its magnitude in unit form. So this is how we represent direction of magnetic field in both the forms. This is the first form and unit vector form also. You can also expand it as dV bar is nothing but mu 0 upon 4 pi I dl bar cross vector to its magnitude is nothing but the unit vector divided by r square. Okay, and whole this explanation is only experimental. Okay, this whole observation was experimental. So we have gone through magnitude of magnetic field and direction of magnetic field at a point P near the current carrying conductor also, and the direction can be given by two forms. This is the first form and the second form is unit vector form. And you came to know also how to find the direction. You have to just curl your fingers from element to position vector, not from position vector to element. I hope you got it. If you got it, please note it down. After that we will solve one example. Okay, now see the example. A wire carries a steady current of 50 ampere as shown in figure. Find the magnetic field caused by 1 meter segment. That means the length of this small segment is 1 meter of this wire at a point P which is 1 meter away. That means this distance is also 1 meter. Now we know that by Biot-Savart law, magnetic field, let's say take magnitude of magnetic field is a B or dB, you can take anything. Now we are going to find out first of all magnitude. So dB is nothing but mu 0 upon 4 pi I dl sin theta divided by r square. So I dl, so I is nothing but the current which is 50 ampere. First of all we will go through formula I dl sin theta divided by r square, which is nothing but mu 0 upon 4 pi, you know that have value of 10 raised to minus 7 into I 50 ampere. dl is nothing but the small segment having 1 meter of length, so 1 meter into sine. Now this is the part where you can get confused. So theta is nothing but angle between dl element and the position vector. This is nothing but the position vector. So you can see your angle is 90. So sine 90 divided by r square. Again r square is nothing but 1 square because the point P is 1 meter away from the element. So it will become 10 raised to minus 7 into 50 into sine 90 has value of 1. So that is equal to 50 into 10 raised to minus 7 dB. So dB is nothing but 5 into 10 raised to minus 6 also, which is nothing but the 5 micro Tesla, because magnetic field we measure in Tesla. Okay, see again, wire was carrying 50 ampere of current. dl is nothing but the length of that small element which is 1 meter here, not centimeter, 1 meter. And after that it was away, how much distance away? 1 meter also. So dl 1 and sine 90, how it came? Because the angle between dl element and the point P is nothing but sine 90, that's why sine 90 become 1. So 5 micro Tesla. Now at the same time we can go for direction also. So see here, this is dl element and this is the position vector. Just so you have to curl the fingers from dl element to position vector. So dl to position vector. This is dl to position vector. So out. So direction inside the plane. Inside the plane. This is how we can solve the questions on the basis of Biot-Savart law. Okay, so note it down. After that we will go for the third topic, that is nothing but the direction of magnetic field near current carrying conductor. Okay. Okay, now we will see the last point is nothing but direction of magnetic field near current carrying conductor. Let us take two cases. Case 1, let's say this is your conductor. It may have shape like straight or it can be curly also. So this is the current going in upward direction. In such cases, what you have to do to find out the the direction of magnetic field is just take your thumb in same direction as the direction of current. So you have to take like this. Okay, it's not like this, it's like this because current is going in upward direction, and curl the fingers. So you can see this, in this plane curls are going inside the plane. That means here direction of magnetic field will be inside the plane, and in this plane they are coming outside the plane. So they are coming outside the plane. This is how you have to tell the direction of magnetic field due to current carrying conductor. In Biot-Savart law we have took the point P, but here we are not taking any point P. We are just trying to find out, or we are just getting the direction of magnetic field due to current carrying conductor. It can be straight or curly also. There is no point that it's curly or straight. It will be same for all type of conductor. So here you can see you have to take thumb into the same direction of magnetic field. Okay, and you have to curl the fingers in the same direction. So if I curl the fingers, here magnetic field will be inside the plane for this plane, and for this plane they are coming outside the plane. Now case 2, if the current is in downward direction, here again right hand thumb rule, you have to do thumb in downward direction. You can see here that when you are curling the fingers for this plane, magnetic field is going inside the plane, and for other plane they are coming outside the plane. This is how you have to find out the direction. When magnetic field lines are going inside the plane, you have to show this symbol. When they are coming outside the plane, you have to give this symbol, dotted symbol. Okay. So in today's lecture, which is our first part, we have gone through introduction, Biot-Savart law, one example, and the last point was direction of magnetic field due to long straight conductor. In Biot-Savart law, we have see the direction of magnetic field at a point P due to long straight conductor, but here we are just trying to get the direction of magnetic field due to long straight conductor. That's it. So these three points we have covered today. In next part we will go for the next concept. Okay, thank you so much for watching the lecture. Thanks. And one more task for you, that you have to comment what is the major difference, any one major difference between electric field and magnetic field. Okay, you have to comment it in a comment box, the major difference between electric field and magnetic field. Thank you so much.